the way, since I'm still sitting at my desk.
I'm not available until after the first week of March, but
Okay.
I am available.
Well, I will send you the job rec, and then you can let me know if it's something you'd be interested in.
Okay,
It would require a clearance, but it's a public trust.
What's the clearance? Clarence? Over. Roger. Yeah, do you have my email?
I have it in the system if you would like me to use that one.
Sure, that works.
Okay. Cool.
God, we are every bit a normal Rotary Club. That is awesome.
Fantastic.
Even the networking.
Absolutely. I was actually talking about you guys today.
I'm anything but normal.
Well, welcome to the group.
I think abnormal is the new normal. I totally stole the what's this thing called, the Zoom meeting thing today, because I was invited to speak to a cybersecurity school out in Colorado Springs this morning. And so I gave you guys a shout out because they were like, why does your name say Amanda needs a bike window?
By the way, I have a personal Zoom account as well, and if anybody does need to use that sometime, just let me know.
Appreciate it. I probably should have asked first.
We will.
Having issues with Google.
Better to ask forgiveness than permission, I always say.
Rule number one. Rule number two is if you know the answer to the question, don't ask the question. Especially if it's an answer you don't want.
Colorado Springs, my hometown.
That's where I was born.
That's where I was raised.
Yeah, and my son was born at Fort Carson.
Well, it was Camp Carson back in 1949. Not a word, Jerry.
That was back before I
You got what I was thinking.
Sure, it was 49 and not 03.
Anybody been to Carson City, Nevada?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I spent 35 years there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. I spent the first 2 years of my U.S. living in Carson City, Nevada.
It's a wonderful place.
Yep. The
It's
worst
a better place to be from.
The worst snowstorm that I ever experienced was there. Over 9 feet of snow on the driveway.
Yeah, we're expecting like 4 inches here tonight. Ugh.
Yikes.
Thanks for that, Jerry. I'll be there on Friday night. I was not expecting to come home with snow.
Breckenridge, Colorado had 39 inches in 48 hours. This past week. Closed.
Oh.
Amanda, what are you doing? Are you going to be up in the Holly area?
I'm going to be in Fenton. I'm coming home for a funeral.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's been a couple, man, it's been a rough year. Like if we could stop now.
We've got way too many.
Threes, not multiples of threes.
Yeah, I'm dealing with one a month for the last 4 months now. By the way, did everybody get the word that our associate member, God, I'm brain dead all of a sudden. Terry passed away, Terry Skogman?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't
Super
see
nice
that.
guy. He was actually a pharmacist. He specialized in cancer drugs, actually.
Wow.
Yeah. He's been off and on fighting for the last 4 or 5 years now. So.
Is that the funeral that you went in Virginia?
No, that was North Carolina, and that was Carlton Purnell.
Oh, okay, so that's another one. Oh,
Terry's memorial is not going to be until May, I think, this year. So she's putting it off till then. Hey guys, I'm going to cut out for a few minutes. I'll be back on. I just pulled into my driveway. How do I get out of here now?
Open the door.
Hang up, Jerry, hang up.
I've not done this on the phone like this before. How do I get out of here?
You just
Oh,
take
yeah.
the phone and keep walking into the house.
You can
Yeah.
close the app. You can close the
swap
app,
it.
Jerry.
It's
The
gonna
red
drop.
zone is for loading and
The
unloading
video
only.
is stopped.
Beep, 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 beep.
Funny.
Just turn the car off.
Park it.
Turn the phone off in a second here.
Just close the app.
Close
Everybody
all.
just be quiet. He'll pretend like he can't hear us anymore, and we'll see what he says.
I tried to close the app. That didn't work.
Are you on an Android, Jerry?
Yep.
Oh,
Ah.
It's the only phone there is. The other ones are, they're half a computer. There's a byte missing out of them.
so Amanda, you guys have done a terrific job of doing this nomination and all of that stuff. And Glenda, you guys have really done a bang up job. Where are we at? Tell us about it.
So we have actually had, I just checked before I signed in, we've had 19 individual people go in and submit their votes for the board members based on the last survey that we put out. So is anybody on right now who's had any issues with that format, with doing the online voting?
Oh, I'm sorry. I haven't checked the voting.
Ah, there's an issue.
No
I don't think
issues.
I received the email.
It
Sorry.
worked well.
Who didn't, was that David? Did you say you didn't receive it?
Yeah, I didn't.
I wonder if you might check your spam.
I'll do the,
Please
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
And if I didn't post the link to the survey on something open because it's it's a closed election. So I'm open to suggestions for how we can make sure that people see it a little bit more than than emails, because I know that my inbox is insane, and I'm sure you guys, a lot of you are dealing with the same thing.
Amanda, would this email be from you? From your email
It-
address?
Glenda, I think.
Yeah, it was from Glenda.
Let me search.
And then, Glenda, I forgot to ask you, did that only go out to full members, or did you send that out to everybody?
It went out to everyone.
Okay.
Yep.
So my last email from Glenda was about my nomination.
You don't get to vote, sorry.
Oh, yeah, we're not sending you emails.
Oh, okay.
We're just gonna
No, I'm
railroad.
kidding.
I only got one for the nomination. That was it. And then the other one I haven't checked.
Well, there's another one that went out, and it is for a vote that.
Oh, okay. I'll search for that one.
Got it. It's in
Find
my
it?
junk, you're right.
Okay, yeah, so check your junk mail. I'm not sure. I wonder if it's because it has that link in it. So I contacted Club Runner directly, and I contacted a Rotary Club up in Pennsylvania who had something posted. There's a way that we can embed that survey into the website, but there's no way to embed it into the body of an email if we send it through Club Runner. So if I were to send it from my Gmail account directly to everybody, I can embed it right into the email. So I wonder if having that link in there is getting it grabbed by the spam filters.
So how do they do the emails for enrollment for different, like pets? For me, they send it through the Club Runner, and then you can roll and do all those things. I guess it's different link then, huh?
Yeah, and I think their stuff is embedded into the HTML of the email.
Oh, okay.
Whereas because this comes through when you try to embed it, it's an iframe image. It's being blocked by a lot of the, I've sent
Oh, yeah.
463 test emails that are in various forms of wrong. It's just coming through with all kinds of funkiness.
Okay, I just voted, and it looks like I can go through and vote again.
Yeah, but it's getting your email address.
Okay, I mean, I'm not going to. It just.
Yeah, so I set it up that way because I was gonna say I was gonna click the or I did click the you can only vote once thing, and what that requires everybody to do is log in with a Gmail account.
Okay.
And so not everybody has a Gmail account. So I was just trying to, I can see, it's not exactly blind voting, guys, sorry. I can see the email address that everybody's voting from, so I can go through and deconflict and make sure somebody didn't vote twice.
Or 100 times.
And
The other link.
And remember, vote early and vote often.
vote often, absolutely.
Well, you do work for Big Brother, so.
Right, like if there's something in this format that doesn't work, by all means, let us know, right? We're just trying to do what we can. I know that when we did the nominations, Glenda had also sent around a spreadsheet that we could use. So I'm open as well. We're a small enough group that we could do a couple different avenues if it makes sense to do so.
Is there anybody else that hasn't seen the voting? Well, I think it seems like it's working,
Yeah.
you know.
I had no problems.
Yeah.
Dave
And
had problems with the first link that went out when he was trying to do it on his cell phone. But then we sent out a second link to him and that one worked for him.
And I think, Glenda, when we sent him the second link, that was the long link, right?
The whip?
Was it a really long link that we sent the second time?
Yeah, and it worked for him.
Yeah, I had sent you originally a shortened URL, and I think that might have caused some problems too. Trying to be too slick, man. I messed it all up.
It worked fine for me.
I'd like to say thank you to everyone who agreed to let their names stand with their nominations. It was really a good response. So thank you, everybody.
Yeah, for sure. We did get, I mean, just, I don't remember how many individual names, Glenda, but it had to have been close to 20 individual names that were nominated. So, good stuff. Oh,
Well, that's
hey,
outstanding.
more votes have come in. 22 votes. Woohoo.
Good.
So I was happy to get my package in the mail with the pins and the decals and stuff. I'm one of the lucky recipients. So far, I guess some of them haven't made it.
I received mine. Those are super cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I enjoyed opening the package.
Mine
Yeah,
are
I
already on the
got it
motor.
and put it on the back of my bike.
Yep, already there.
My daughter asked me what the patch was for, and I told her it should go on my leather jacket. She doubled over laughing.
The
This
leather
is a
jacket
pretty handsome
on
little
top
patch,
of the
though. That's a
motorcycle.
nice little patch.
It is a cool patch. It totally is. I can definitely, if it disappears, I'll find it on her backpack and guarantee it. But I just thought it was too funny to think of me wearing a leather jacket.
I'm from Canada and I would be happy to receive them. However, out here in the country, they've now changed our rural boxes, which means I have to go into town to get a key to be able to open them. So I have no idea whether they've since come. So stay tuned. Maybe next month I will know whether they're in.
Maybe you could regale us with the adventures to go downtown and get them. How? What city are you in, Otto?
I'm in Canada. I'm in Vernon, British Columbia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I told Jerry that we used to have 51-cent postage, and we used to say that, well, it was only 3 cents to deliver the mail, but the other 48 cents was for storage.
I have never been to British Columbia. I'd love to come up there.
Well, you should come. I'm going to try and arrange, if I can, get some help to arrange there's a tour that starts in the US and comes up through here. Sort of a two-nation tour. But it's going to be a lot of work, but it'd be a lot of fun if I can get it done. It'll be in August.
I think you're
Amanda,
closest.
I was up in BC on my great ride. Quit your job now and go. The scenery is just stunning.
It is. It's gorgeous up there.
Is Banff in Alberta or BC?
Banff is in Alberta.
But it's on the way to BC. It's just the mountains are just stunning.
Yeah,
Alberta is Banff. Yeah, it's about a couple hours north of Calgary. It's beautiful. Lake Louise is there.
Did you go up
And
to Glacier Parkway?
if
What
you
was
go
that,
on a
Jim?
bike,
Yeah, did you go up to Glacier Parkway?
yep,
Spectacular.
it is spectacular.
The glacier that was there, I was there in the 70s and there was, you could see it from the road. Now you can't even see it from the road. I think you have to take a bus in to get to see the glacier. It's receded that far.
Yeah, you have to. They have a car that they take you all the way up there. One of those pseudo Hummers,
Big bus.
big bus.
I think we should all just go. It's only 2,627 miles from my house.
Well, let's
Deal.
go.
Let's go.
I went
So-
last year. Now, I got to tell you, the eastern part of Alberta, not as exciting as the western part of Alberta.
That's
For
true, too.
instance, you can see Montreal.
What?
You
Montreal.
can see Montreal from eastern Alberta.
Yeah, because it's so flat.
It's all flat.
I don't think so.
Don't be so
Winnipeg is
technical, Glenda.
cold in the winter.
What's that, John?
Don't be so technical.
We have a big country up here, believe it or not.
Where are you, Glenda?
I'm in Ontario,
Oh, you're in Ontario. Okay.
not too far from Bruce.
I think everybody, all of our other Canadian friends are Ontarians, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. I think Otto, you're the odd man out west right now.
That's me, yeah.
Yeah, I'm in Ontario and Sound.
One of my closest friends is another motorcyclist, and we met in Colorado Springs. But her husband is in the Canadian Air Force, and they just got moved to Yellowknife, Saskatchewan. And I keep telling her that she needs to join our group, and she keeps telling me I need to come up and ride motorcycles in Yellowknife, and I keep reminding her that motorcycles don't go in the snow. But
Not according to Bruce.
There's a guy up here that rides a motorcycle with a sidecar all winter. He's got snow tires on it.
Just got to put those spiky things on the tires.
There you go. Spiky things.
it has been raining nonstop in Northern Virginia for at least 64 days, I think. I don't know if it's been wet where everybody else is.
At least you don't have to shovel rain.
Yeah, I don't have to shovel anything. I live in a condo, Bruce.
Do you have any flooding?
We had flooding a couple of days ago. It's just been the misty rain right now, but we had some flooding a couple of days ago. Everything's just really saturated. I don't know if you guys saw, we had a tornado about 3 miles from my house on Friday.
What town are you in, Amanda?
Leesburg.
Oh, hell, I go through Leesburg going to IAD.
Yeah, I know. I can see IAD. I keep telling you that I'm right here.
Usually I'm kind of on the way to the airport.
I know. Not the best time to stop. Yeah, I'm actually in Lansdowne. So as you're coming down Route 7, right at Belmont Ridge Road right there.
Oh, well, hell, we can plan a trip. Are you going to the Johnson City ride?
No.
Got to get a motorcycle first.
I know. Thank you. I appreciate you calling me out there, Keith.
Sorry, Amanda.
I got to get my kid back from New Zealand before I can afford to have a motorcycle. Thanks.
Amanda, I just checked online. Unless Yellowknife is not moved, Yellowknife is in the Northwest Territory.
Oh, you're right. It is. It's
not in Saskatchewan. It's up.
Yeah,
north,
you're right. You're right.
north of
Sorry about that.
The Great Slave Lake.
Yep.
So they are remote. Your people are really remote up there.
Yeah. And it's funny because she's one of the most social people I've ever met. I don't know what she loves it.
Now you've done it, David. I got to go get a bourbon.
Let's That's not fair. You guys aren't allowed to have bourbon if I'm going to still be at my desk. That's
Actually, it's Macallan 12 tonight.
Well, it'll be bourbon for me, and I'll be right back.
Well, you guys, you should look up moose milk, drinking moose milk up in the north and remote places in Canada. We used to have a drink called moose milk. I haven't been there for a while, so, but.
Which is what?
What is moose milk?
Which is what?
Well, I guess it depends on the bartender, but it's a lot of alcohol.
Hey, Bruce.
Yes,
So you just sent me a message. Anna's gonna get her bike license, his wife?
she's signed up to take the motorcycle course. Yes.
Good for her. That's exciting.
The end of May, she is taking the course in Owen Sound.
Very good.
So I suppose she's still gonna ride on the back of that new Goldwing you got for the big rides.
Probably for the big rides. Yep.
Yeah.
We'll see about getting her on the Shadow for some local rides.
She's gonna take it over and put you back on one of your other two.
Go for it.
See, all you Goldwing.
I'm sorry?
And we need to have her talk to Debbie, Bruce.
Yeah, okay.
Otto, I just looked up moose milk. Holy crap. Vanilla ice cream, milk, dark rum, Kahlua, vodka, and nutmeg.
awesome.
Yikes.
Wow, that's a lot.
Do you have to have the
It'll hit
nutmeg?
like
I think you might could skip that.
no.
Do you have to have the nutmeg?
Sure.
What's wrong with
Adds a
that?
little extra flavor.
I can't stand nutmeg.
Oh, put some cinnamon in it.
I can do that.
Yeah, that definitely sounds like something I could drink a lot of and regret.
Hey, at the next ride, Dave, maybe, or Otto, I think you suggested it. You should bring some moose milk for us.
He'll be gone by the time he gets there.
We'll need a refrigerator for the milk and cream.
I'll need training wheels if I'm drinking that first.
Do that.
Well, if you're gonna drink moose milk, don't go riding after.
No. That's after you've covered the bikes and put them up for the night.
That'll be a short ride.
Today's leg of the ride will be around the parking lot and back.
Is that after you get a motorcycle?
You know what, you guys? All right, look.
Or Amanda.
Jeez.
It's pick on Amanda night tonight, I guess.
Yeah, which is completely different than normal.
That just caused me to unmute.
All I know is Amanda's bike has got to be short.
Oh, wow.
You know what?
Wow.
He said
No.
it, not me.
John is right. I did say it. He didn't need to call me out in front of you guys like that, but I did.
Okay, I take it back.
John, are you suggesting you want to sell that itty bitty thing you ride?
Oh.
Ouch, that hurt.
I'm wounded.
40 would be perfect.
This thing from the Bumblebee man.
Well, if it makes you people happier, so whoever makes these sort of list was talking about the best cruisers,
Yeah.
and Goldwing came out on top.
Did it really?
It did, and BMW is up there in the top 5, I think, Harold.
Top 5? Oh,
now, I don't know
come
about
on.
yours. It just, the cruisers, the
Yeah, the luxury.
couches that those people
Luxury
like Jerry
bike.
ride.
Yeah,
That's not a cruiser. That's a luxury touring bike.
that's
It's in its
correct.
own class.
Touring sport bike, I might add.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
not the
correct.
cruising venue. That's not really the BMW's thing, is cruiser. That's more.
well, they've got them though. They have some beautiful luxury cruisers.
I'm just realizing mine's now in its 20th year old.
Wow.
Wow. Do you have airbags on yours?
No, I don't, but that's when they first came out, actually. It was in 2001.
That's right.
There's definitely an airbag when Jerry is riding his bike. I don't know what you're talking about. Paybacks.
Little payback.
What a score on that one.
Yeah.
Has anybody ever seen these vests that have an airbag in them?
Cord. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody
Like
use
a
one?
Michelin man falling off.
Anybody use one?
No.
No, I think there's too much chance of those things having to go off while you're on the back of the motorcycle.
Well,
No,
their,
thank you.
their tether thing, I understand. So, however short you make that tether, I wonder how many times people get off their motorcycle.
Forget about it.
Forget.
One time. Only one time.
Well, I do have one bit of advice for everybody. I heard this from a friend that if you're going out for a ride, make sure you unhook your battery charger.
That's really good advice.
That cause.
That is you're backing out of the garage. I just heard from a friend.
Asking for a friend. I like that.
He should have had a quick disconnect.
You think?
Problem. Yeah.
Or a long extension cord.
A really long extension cord.
What did you ruin, John?
I'm just saying for a friend.
Yeah, right.
I heard he couldn't. He got stopped because he didn't make it out of the barn. So I heard.
Right.
Keeps driving that battery tender down the freeway, though.
Question
I
is,
try and
did you
come
get
up with
hurt?
helpful motorcycling advice.
You have a battery in that thing, John?
You know, I don't. I open myself to this abuse, don't I?
Always.
Amanda, help me out.
No, thank you.
Say Magneto, John. Magneto.
Magneto. Oh man.
I'm just picturing you driving around with it still attached, like you're mowing the lawn with one of those electric lawnmowers.
It didn't go far. And besides, nobody said it was me.
I mean, theoretically, if it was you, I was picturing that.
Hang on, let me check that chat line you just sent me here a few minutes ago.
How many people are going to the Johnson City ride?
I think I am.
I'm definitely trying to.
Wait, hold, Keith, that's you're either definitely or you're trying. Pick one.
Yep, I'm trying. It all
Could be
depends
fun.
on. It all depends upon she who must be listened to and obeyed.
Thank you, Horace Rumpel.
I give you permission.
Oh, thank you.
Ooh.
It's right up for I can't afford not to go.
Anybody going down to Texas?
Yeah.
Not going to be able to.
Well, that's just too iffy weather-wise.
Ah, come on. You're not worried about weather, are you?
Yeah, I'm a wimp.
You trail a plug behind you.
Who's going on the
Good muddy roads too.
What?
Who's going on the Wisconsin ride?
Oh,
No.
been there, done that.
I am contemplating about the 20th of June to attempt a iron butt run. So my plan is to get somewhere next to an interstate that gets close to 75 miles an hour on it, stay overnight in a hotel, get up at dawn and go west. Take as much daylight as I can.
You know what's weird?
Miles in one day. I think I can do the 1,000.
You know what's weird, Jerry, is when you look at the website for the Iron Butt, they recommend not using interstates,
right?
But I don't know how you can do it not using
No.
interstate.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I don't like riding in the dark. You can do it, but I don't like riding in the dark.
No.
There is a road that runs parallel to I-70 all the way across Kansas. That's about 10 miles north of 70. And it's just a 2-lane road, but the speed limit's 65.
Do you get to see corn and soybeans?
I was just going to say, and you can see the world's largest ball of sisal twine.
Oh, we've been there, haven't we, John?
Yes, we have.
We have photographs to prove it.
Yeah, we do here to Vail every summer, right, to go mountain biking. And we get sick of seeing I-70, so we've ventured off the beaten path. Except we do stop and take a picture at Jeep Road at that exit with the Jeep every year.
Is that mountain biking on bicycles?
On bicycles, on two wheels.
Bicycles.
Two self-powered
Naturally.
wheels.
Yeah, naturally.
But of course, you guys know me well enough, I think, at this point to know that I don't pedal. So we take the gondola up to the top of Vail Mountain and we go at breakneck speeds all the way down.
It can't be said that you don't have a bike.
I do have many bikes. Are you kidding? I have a plethora of bikes, in fact. Just don't have any that I can keep up with you guys on.
We'll get her a little Vroom engine to apply to one of the bicycles.
I've got a tow rope, Amanda.
Oh. A tow
I will
rope.
pretend like I have never done that. Jerry, that's a horrible idea.
Well, I've got a couple of them that I've survived.
I was talking to the kids the other day. It's very funny. My kids are 15 and 18. They think I was an angel. Idiots. And we were talking about things that we did when we were their age and how it's amazing we're all alive still. And one of the things that they just do not believe that we did, and it's probably good that they don't believe it, is we definitely put a rope behind the truck and skated on our feet on the dirt behind our house like idiots.
Yeah.
Right?
Never.
Yeah,
Never did that.
sure, John.
Done that with a tractor.
And we've done it behind a snowmobile, and we've done, I mean, if there was something that you could go
Bumper
fast
hitching.
and tow somebody, we did it.
Snowmobile on a truck tire or tractor tire inner tube and flying around the corners and into a barbed wire fence.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
On purpose?
It's hard on the inner tube.
It's kind of hard on your knees, too.
A little bit. We had,
My barbed wire fence one.
yeah, my grandpa Bealby we had the snow machine at the cabin, and we had a dog sled that we pulled behind the snow machines. And I honestly don't know how half of us, I don't know how many grandkids there were, but I'm not sure how we survived, the ones that are left.
All the feeling of the thistles slapping you in the face.
I don't know how I survived riding a snow machine. Those things are crazy.
Riding, it's not the hard part. It's the stopping that hurts.
I know nobody here ever put like a 1/4-inch plywood up on concrete bricks and created their own jump for their bicycle.
Oh, yeah.
Never
No,
did that.
definitely.
No.
And did you jump over your friends?
See the scars?
Oh.
Good idea, Bruce.
And the front wheel is no longer round.
Yeah.
I actually have some pretty awesome pictures of, so my mom and my uncle are very close in age. They're like a year apart, and my uncles were all good friends with my dad because small town, right? And I have really cool pictures of the house that I grew up in with my uncles on their BMX bikes and their super shorty shorts and their white socks pulled up to their knees, jumping over each other in front of the house in Holly, Jerry.
And no video evidence to be
Actually, I've got
posted
8mm.
on YouTube.
No, I totally have 8mm.
Yeah.
Speaking of 8mm, has anybody done a bulk conversion of their old slides and 8mm and stuff like that to digital? And if you have, what company did you use?
I have, and I used to come out of Arlington, Texas. They did an incredible job, but it was incredibly expensive. I had probably 16 reels, 16 of the big 10-inch reels done. And it was about, how much did I spend on that? $1,400?
What?
But it was completely restored. I mean, they took they took each frame and individually scanned each frame of film. And so it's essentially, it's a total restoration of the film. And it's incredible.
I just sent a link. Costco actually does it.
Really?
Of those places. I don't know what the quality is, and I haven't done it myself, but I know somebody we were just talking about this the other day.
Costco's in the running for sure, but I have a bunch of Super 8, and I probably have 15,000 slides that my dad took. And it's just like I'm in charge of the family photos, and I don't want to drag them around anymore.
Yeah, you and me both. I have all of my mom's stuff, and I need to at some point. I know that if I can get them all scanned, I can upload them, and they'll do facial recognition, so I can figure out who's in all of them and tag them and everything. But
Slides, I'd say get a good Epson scanner, and they are the best. The Epson scanners.
That's what I have, and that's what I've been doing with. I've been doing that with all of my slides from Vietnam. A long, slow process because you have to get it out and get it all set. But they do a good job. They really come out nice.
I'm not going to do thousands of slides. It's not going to happen. I'll hire somebody, but I'm not going to do it.
I've got one device that it actually takes VCR. Any of your old VCRs digital on your computer. And I've got another device. It's a USB turntable.
Yeah.
My old LPs, I put an MP3. I still have about a 200 album LP clip.
when we were up in Michigan last year summer,
including Inagata de Vida, the classic.
do you have the album insert still? Because that's actually worth some money.
No, the insert that's worth money is the Cheech and Chong album.
You know nobody has that.
I think I do.
we were up in Michigan last summer.
I did not use the paper yet.
We were up in Michigan last summer and we found an antique shop in Munising, I think, and they had an entire separate room full of vinyl, and all the vinyl was 50 cents. And we dug and dug, and I got some really. I think I have almost every Heart album on vinyl now. I paid 50 cents for them. I have the Linda Ronstadt album where she did all the show tunes and the classical stuff, which is awesome.
I worked backstage on a concert that she was in, and you know, she never did encores, and I found out why. Backstage, when she came off that stage afterwards, she just collapsed completely. She put every bit of energy she had into the concerts, and they carried her off right when she got behind those curtains. Good concert too.
Never saw her in concert. She was just inducted. The Kennedy Center honors. She was part of that this year.
The interview she did with that Kennedy Center induction was very interesting. She's very insistent that she never had any talent, and she doesn't have a whole lot of self-esteem surrounding her music. And now that she's sick, it's pretty much all downhill.
So I have news that I've been waiting to share with everyone, and if you're a Facebook friend with me, you would have seen it, but I'm going to be a first-time grandma this year.
Ooh, that's awesome.
Congratulations.
That's wonderful.
Thank you. It's pretty amazing because they tried for a long time, finally got into for in vitro in November, and so far so good.
That is one of the most amazing experiences in your life, Linda.
I hope,
Especially
when
your daughter calls you up and gets really upset at whatever word you taught your grandson the weekend before.
Papa.
I can't believe how many words my daughter says are bad words nowadays compared to what she had when she was in her mouth back then.
The word for today is
My sister,
Guys, really?
fart is not the F word, guys. We need to stop with that.
Canoodling.
It's
My sister was teaching her kids sign language, and the sign language for milk is this. And so I taught my niece how to say brains instead of milk. So she'd walk around going, brains, and she looked like a little zombie. It was awesome. I think being an aunt is way better than being a mom. Sometimes that's what my kids say.
My wife likes to have the occasional road rage, and the other day we're all in the car together and somebody cut me off, and my son looked and said, "What a fucking idiot," and he's 5 years old.
Ouch.
It's like, and he knows not to say that, you know, in class. He's pretty good about it because we have potty mouths at home, but it's pretty funny to watch. You know, it's hard to hold it together when you're trying to say, oh well, you know, you should be.
David, we haven't heard from you today.
Oh, I'm hanging in here. I'm loving these bad word stories. My youngest son, when he was in high school, he was quoting someone, and he was referring to the word whore, and he called it the H word. We still give him shit.
Well, how about Dave Doherty? We haven't heard from him either.
No, I'm just sitting here enjoying the talk that's going on. I've been kind of,
Colorful conversation.
yeah, kind of quiet because I'm keeping my head low. We have our house on the market, and we plan to be moving as soon as it sells. So I'm just kind of treading water these days and keeping my head as low as I can.
You staying in Mansfield?
Pardon?
You staying in Mansfield?
No, we're going to we'll go to Evansville, Indiana. My youngest son, his wife, and 3 little girls are there. So we kind of feel that that's a good place to go as they're growing up. There's an 8-year-old, a almost 3-year-old, and a 1.5-year-old. And we kind of dote on them, and they need some help from time to time. And certainly my wife is a helper. So it's going to be very interesting going there. I've been scoping out the Rotary Club that's there in Evansville. Seems to be a pretty big club. Interesting at how important it is to greet people. I took my son to the Evansville, Indiana Rotary Club. We went in as guests, and it was kind of interesting. We went in, paid our money at the door, and nobody talked to us the whole damn time we were there. And unfortunately, for my son, who was working at a bank at the time, he was less than impressed. And but kind of know that we sat at it's a fairly large club. Told him that it was important that people greet their guests because you never know who might be a member there, which is kind of my case in some time. But we kind of left a little disheartened that the people were so interested in themselves at the table, even though each of us tried to start a conversation at one point. So I rationalized it at the end. I said to Ben, you know, those people were so into themselves and all that we just sat at a bad table. So when you're at a Rotary meeting and you have guests coming in, you really need to pay attention because it kind of sets up future thoughts about it. But it's a good club there, and if we end up there, I'll probably go and make myself known and try to be a pest as best I can.
You just got to find the right shin to kick.
Yeah, right. My poor son, though, you know, I've been in Rotary about 45 years. I've been president of 2 clubs, one in Hartford, Connecticut, one here in Mansfield. I've been through all the chairs that you can, through district governor and chairman of our pets training program, All Ohio Pets. You know, and you get to a certain point where you have an idea of what Rotary should be. And even though I'm kind of quiet here, I enjoy the repartee that goes on. And, you know, I just kind of sit back and kind of listen. So that's where I am at this stage of my life.
I will share with you guys that I have been absolutely amazed at the camaraderie that's developed in our club. It's pretty cool.
Right.
Very pretty cool. Very pretty cool. There's a good statement for you.
We knew.
It's my Spanish. What can I say?
Gary, is that like much more better?
Much more better. Yep.
Es muy bueno.
Super bien.
One of the interesting things that happened a couple summers ago, I think it was 2
Excelente.
summers, it might have been 3, but my family and I were in Colorado in the Avon area. And I had these 2 Rotarians show up at my doorstep. And we were able to exchange greetings and discussion and what have you. Who were those guys? I can't remember exactly who they were. One was, who were they? Are they on here today?
I think you're talking about Jerry and myself.
Oh, yeah.
John.
Hey, David, why do you mention that? I was just getting ready to ask you, you think you're going to be moved to Evansville by the end of March?
It depends on whether we sell our house or not.
Why?
Yeah. Our house has been on the market for a bit. We have a fairly nice house and it'll go, but I'm not doing anything until our house sells. So why do you ask that?
Because we're on our way to Texas by the end of March and we're looking for a place to stop for pie.
Oh, I sort of figured it would be something like that. Yeah, if we're there, you got an open invitation, either then or later.
David can attest that I'm kind of good for calling people when I'm about an hour away and asking what you got for a snack.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we actually had some apple pie.
It was peach pie that day.
Oh, was it peach? You're
Yep,
right.
Peach pie.
Peach pie. Yeah, that was cool.
Actually, you're moving like within about 45 minutes or an hour away from was it Foot High Pie, Tom?
Yeah, exit 31 and
on 70?
I-70 northeast of St. Louis.
What is it again?
The Pierron exit, Pierron exit.
What's the name of that place again?
Foot High Pie, and it's all family cooking as well as probably half a dozen Foot High pies given 7 inches of glazed meringue on top, but 5 inches of lemon meringue or Boston cream or whatever. And then they've got about half a dozen other pies. It might be fruit pies, raspberry, peach, apple, blackberry, boysenberry.
The actual name of the place is Blue Springs Cafe.
Correct.
Sounds like a day trip once we're there.
It's not open until 11 in the morning.
They've changed their hours. I stopped by one day at 7:30 in the morning and they weren't open, and I pressed my nose up against the window and a guy came over and said, "We're not open." And I said, "I can see that, but I'm heading to Colorado and I need some of your food." He says, "Come on in." So he gave me pie and breakfast.
They're open 11 to 9 every day, 7 days a week.
That's a day trip for us.
I could be talked into meeting you there sometime, David.
Right.
We had a little trip down to a town called Yalapa in Mexico. And you sit there at about noontime, the ladies come walking down the beach with a basket on their head full of pie. So you get pie on the beach at noon. It's the perfect hangover remedy because they're just absolutely beautiful lemon meringues and everything, just wonderful pies. Oh my God.
That's after you've had Mexican moose milk.
That's right. And pancakes with Nutella for breakfast.
You know, maybe I could start out my 1,000-mile run right from Blue Springs Cafe.
You're not gonna have time for that.
If you're doing that north or that east-west drive, if you're just north of Kansas in Nebraska, it's Highway 34, I believe, and it pretty well runs parallel. And if you get to a little town called Alliance, they have a park, and it has a 90-ton Hereford cow, and the internal structure of the Hereford cow are windmills that have been disassembled, and they form the legs and shoulders and neck and head and so forth. And then they covered that with a real heavy chicken wire, and then it's all covered in concrete, and then it's all done to look like a Hereford cow.
Made of windmills. That's rather vain, isn't it?
Well, that was their internal structure. They welded all these windmills together, covered them over. Thing does look like a dead goat cow, I kid you not.
Okay, Jerry, I got it.
I submit that we need a sergeant at arms to find people for jokes like that shit right there.
I got it.
I would
but
like
was
to
trying
say that,
ignore it.
thank you, John from Texas. I just commented as Tom was talking, I was like, I smell a pun coming on. Very true to form.
Well, nothing will ever top the world's largest ball of twine, will it, Jerry?
We didn't get a chance to go on top of it.
I think they
twine.
discouraged that.
Largest ball of sisal twine. It's not, it's very specific.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, it is.
I think we should have unwound it to see if it was truly as long as it said it was.
Yeah, we'll just have to take another
Maybe John
trip.
could have attached that to his mic with an electric cord to the battery.
They've
Can
been
you
lighting
run-
that
can-
thing up since the 1950s.
Hey, on a serious note, I was shocked to hear about Terry Skoglund passing away.
Yeah.
I was on with Jerry and several others on the trip down in the mountains in, I guess, North Carolina with him and his wife. That's really sad. Sad to hear that.
He'd been fighting that for 4 or 5 years silently, David.
Yeah.
I hadn't shared that, but she's going to do the memorial service sometime in May. So, did I send out the obituary for him?
I did not see it.
I will endeavor to do that this week. So, he was on the very first IFMR ride that I went on. In fact, he was one of the very first people I was introduced to in IFMR. He led an international ride here in Michigan along not Lake Michigan side, along the Lake Huron side. And I came close to joining him on that. Got called away on a business trip at the last minute, but he was on the very first ride I did with Bob Gracie down in West Virginia, and that's where I finally met him and his wife Norma. He rode that. Was it what he had the Ducati, and he also had a Buell, I think it is, for the longest time. And then he bought that BMW 3 years ago. And he had the BMW on our trip down around Atlanta, David.
I don't think it was a BMW. It was another bike.
No, that was his new BMW because he ditched it right there when we stayed at Little Switzerland.
I remember that. Yeah. Okay.
Well, you know what? Maybe not. That might have been a different one yet.
It was a little black one. And what did you say earlier?
That might have been his Buell.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it was. Buell. Yeah.
And then coming out of one of the Canada rides,
That was the Aurelia ride.
He blew a front bearing on that on that ride.
Yeah. That's where I met him.
Yeah.
Yep. Kind of rough. In fact, those of you that knew Carlton, I was just on some messaging with his wife earlier tonight. So she's getting along and making do.
Send out Terry's obituary, if you would, please.
I've never seen a mule motorcycle.
Got it right here. I'm gonna put it in a message. Okay.
Right.
Chat. Actually, a nice picture in black and white, but yep. Doesn't say anything about motorcycles. She must have wrote it. Holy cow, this got bigger. Maybe she changed that. I haven't looked at it. A lot of people don't know. Terry was a pharmacist, both he and his wife. And they specialized in cancer drugs, actually. All right, mood killer. Let's move on.
Just got it and then printing it.
Very cool.
There's a mention of a motorcycling.
Is it in there? She must have updated it. That's really good.
You could usually find him planning his next motorcycle trip, ski trip, or road trip.
Yep. Yep.
Well, it's 8 o'clock, guys. Has anybody got the four-way test?
Of all the things we think, say, or do, first, is it the truth?
The truth.
Is it fair to all concerned?
Concerned.
Will build goodwill and better
Goodwill and
friendships.
Better friendships.
Be beneficial to all
Beneficial to
concerned.
all concerned.
And will it be fun?
That's it. Will it be fun?
See